Hi everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Season 3 of Brockmire is here. Tawny Newsome, Richard Kind.
What is your last name?
DJ Sixsmith.
Sixsmith?
Six like the number, Smith like the name.
Sixsmith.
Yeah.
Okay, no
one last
TH
name.
in between the X and the S.
No, Sixsmith.
That's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, it's
How
a
do you
little,
spell
little
your name?
different.
With the TH.
With the T.
Yes.
Well, it's great to have you guys here.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations on the show.
Thank you very much.
Tawny, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Former softball player that comes in the booth with Brockmire. You've done a little bit of everything in your career. You've done music, you've done acting, so how'd you get the part?
Oh yeah, so I'm not a former softball player. I wish I was. I would have
play one,
informed
yeah.
I might have informed my character a bit more to like know anything about the sport. But yeah, Gabby is a former softball Olympian, and then she, instead of coaching, turns into an anchor. Yeah, I'm just like a weird Renaissance kid that I've been like in bands and being an actor and a podcaster for so long. So I'm just like always on a weird hustle, and I auditioned for the part and got it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good for you. And Richard, you've done a little bit of everything in your career.
I have.
And, you know, playing a part with Hank Azaria must be a lot of fun for you. So why was this the right time for that?
You're right. I've known him for over 25 years because it was available. And so I got the role.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when did you guys first meet?
We met playing poker. We had a lot of mutual friends.
You're a big card guy, right?
I
Poker guy?
was, not
What?
that much
Not that
anymore.
much
I mean, I
anymore.
do love it, but I don't do it that much anymore.
gotcha.
You got kids, golf, things get
Takes
in
up
the
a
way.
little time. Work, you know, you got that too.
Yes.
So it's awesome that you have a relationship like that can benefit you. And for you, making a new relationship with Hank Azaria. So
Yeah.
you spent a lot of time with him this season. What did you learn from somebody like that?
Oh my gosh, he's so amazing. He does like a method of filming that I've never seen before. I won't go into like annoying details here, but like he likes to record in a certain order that's different from how most comedies are taped and or filmed, and he likes to
What? Like what?
like he does tights first and then goes out to wides.
Really?
I mean, maybe this is too inside baseball, but I found it really interesting.
No, it
'cause
is
he,
interesting.
Like, he wants to do tight coverage of both of you, so I'm in a lot of like two shots and just two-person scenes with him. He likes to do tights first because then by the time you're kind of like exhausted and a little tired with the scene and stuff, you're just in a wide and it's not as dependent on your performance. I thought it was really cool.
Is that atypical of your experiences, Rich?
Yes, but I don't remember doing that.
We did it a lot. We did almost all the scenes. Yeah, it was cool. I grew to really love it.
No, I don't like that at all. Because the wide shot is, it's a form of rehearsal. It is
Right.
not so, I don't know how much your audience knows about all this stuff, but you do what's called a master, where a camera will take in everything. And then as you get what a large picture would be, you have to come in. And let's say I want to two people, and then I want you, and then I want you. When you get in there, you have to be, your lines have to be so much better. Whereas on the master, you miss a line, okay, it's what line, what,
Right.
and then you're just in the general area. They can always cut to it, but they usually just start with an establishing shot, which is called the master.
Interesting.
And where are we? And then all of a sudden we move into what the meat of the matter is. And so I'm a person from the theater who likes rehearsal.
Sure.
I'm an improviser, but you're more of an improviser.
I don't want to rehearse ever.
You just want to go right into
Let's
it.
get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I am. So no, I'm not. I like rehearsal. I love rehearsal.
Yeah.
I like to work. I like
Right.
to work at it, and the more you do it, the more refined it is. Some people, a la Clint Eastwood, thinks rehearsal ruins the spontaneity and the freshness of it. I disagree with him.
I disagree with that too because I think it's so individual. I don't think you can
Yeah.
decide for someone else what ruins their spontaneity.
Exactly,
You know?
exactly. He has decided for his entire cast that that you have to do it on one take. Quite often, it's just one take, and it's awful. I hated it.
Which project was that?
A movie you've never seen called The Hereafter.
Okay.
Or called
Maybe he's seen
Hereafter.
it.
Hey,
It
it's a
could be his
possibility.
favorite movie. No,
Unfortunately, it's not. Could have been.
Do you know it?
you couldn't.
I have not heard
It's
of it.
quite. It's a great. It's a terrific first 20 minutes of a movie, and then it just falls apart. But
What
it's a movie
happened?
with Matt Damon. The script happened, but what it wanted to do in setting up the story, there was a great tsunami sequence. I encourage you to see this
Oh,
movie.
I'll have to check it out.
The
Yeah.
first 10 minutes is a tsunami that is breathtaking. The special effects, what it feels like. It's fantastic. The next 10 minutes is sort of a short story that Matt Damon is in with Jay Moore,
Okay.
playing brothers, and I'm in it. And it's literally unto itself is a movie with a beginning, middle, and end. The scene is a beginning, middle, like a short story. Then the scene is over. I leave the picture. Jay isn't in that much, and the movie continues with Matt Damon, who of course is great, but the script is not as good as I'd wanted it to be, and
Well,
I really wanted to be.
Should have kept you in longer.
Tell me about it.
I'm sure you've heard this one of these.
No, it's just it makes sense.
Yeah.
Keep him in longer, it'll save a film.
So Tawny, what about you? I mean, you hear an experience like that. What are a couple other experiences that you have in your short career so far that you can pull on?
As far as what?
And just as far as stuff you've enjoyed, interesting experiences, like that was a great example of the tights first and the master second.
Yeah.
What's something else that you've looked at, you're like, that's a little bit surprising, or this is a cool experience I've had?
I don't know. In terms of Brockmire? I don't know.
It doesn't even have to be Brockmire, just
Oh.
even outside of Brockmire.
I'm drawing a blank on such a wide question. I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, totally fine. I mean, you're just really ramping things up too, so I'm sure it's cool for you to kind of learn what's going on in the set. And for your point, Rich, like things have changed from where the industry first started to where they're at right now. So for both of you guys, how about this? Just where the industry is today, what are some of the things you like and what are some of the things you don't like? Let's start with you, Rich.
Okay. I like that I feel that the quality of TV done by individual artists is greater because there aren't as many artistic restrictions on them to sell product. I believe that the artist can have his true voice a lot of the times, not all the time, but an artist can truly have his own voice, and it doesn't have to appeal to everybody.
Right.
It can appeal to the audience that it appeals to. And Joel, who created this show with Hank, talked about that. This is not a show for CBS. Or for any of the network TVs, but they don't. But a network has to command a certain number of people watch it, or else they can't exist.
Right.
But IFC doesn't need that. Everything's smaller. It's contained. This is 8 episodes? I think this is. So
Perfect
the
to binge
budget,
that, yep.
the budgets are
Budget-wise.
not as large,
Yep.
and there are a couple of 100,000 people who adore this show and will keep it on the air.
We should say, though, that we want there to be like a couple of million.
You always
more
want
the
a couple
merrier.
of million.
Yeah.
Of course you want a couple of million, but people don't. A lot of times, if I asked any of my, I can't ask my mom and dad because they don't know because they're dead. But but if I asked anybody of an older age that it's on IFC,
Right.
they might not know how to get there.
No.
Or when you say it's on Amazon or Netflix, they go, "Oh, what time? And what time can you make it?"
Right.
So
Changing those habits and that conversation around
and
it.
they don't
Yeah.
know it. It's a different language.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And Tawny, you've been very vocal just about where the industry's at and just people in your position getting an opportunity to shine in a way that you once didn't. So what's the coolest part of the industry for you right now?
I think just that, just that there are some more opportunities. I think there's a myth right now that suddenly it's all diversity and the only people getting jobs are diverse, and it's the numbers still aren't there. It's
not
just
true, yeah.
any swing towards equality feels like oppression to some. So I think it's nice to see more roles. There still are nowhere near the number that there are for straight white guys, but it's cool to get closer. So let's keep getting closer.
Right, and just to cut into it and just to realize even your role may not exist on TV a couple years ago, and now it's just totally normal, which is great.
Yeah, the erasure of women in sports and queer people in sports, it's that's huge, but those people exist in real life. So
Right, absolutely.
It's cool to see.
So you guys were hitting on something before, going off the script versus improvisation. So when you think about Brockmire, how much of it is script, how much of it is improv, and how do you guys manage that?
You answer first.
A lot of it is the script because that was good. You jolted me into I had to answer. I couldn't hem and haw. It was good. We should do more of that. A lot of it is just on the script because the script is so good and because Hank he memorizes the whole season before before we even start filming, which is really impressive. So we kind of stick to the script because he's got it so locked, but he's also down to play. He's so funny that he's down to play and be loose with things. And if you have an idea and you want to just do something different, everybody on set's really cool. Our director, Mo Marable, is the best because he'll support your choices
Bo is
give
great.
you ideas. Yeah, because he's also an EP too, so a lot of times, sometimes TV directors, they come in and out for a couple episodes, but Mo's there the whole time, so he's really like part of that gang.
Very true, and on a single camera, that's a little unusual.
Yeah, it is.
It's nice. he was great.
So you've done you've done a ton of improv. You've done the whole theater thing where it's repetition, get on the boards. So
I'm somebody who likes a script, and I now did I improvise that much? Not as much as Tawny did, and I am an improviser. I don't think I'm as good an improviser as Tawny is, and yet I've never seen her improvise, other than on Brockmire. But you really do, you keep it going, you cultivate it, you still do. I don't that much. And every once in a while, look, you have to end a scene a lot of times on a laugh.
Right.
So I can be funny, and I can take a last line and maybe, you call it improvising, I'm going to say a word that I don't like, ad-lib, but I can ad-lib a last line or put a punch on a scene that might be better than the one that was written, just because I'm in the moment or something like that. Or you try any number of variations on a theme to end a scene. But primarily, I was on book. Also, my character is terse. He's not as vocal and verbal as
you don't have that
Brockmire.
runway to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was there with a purpose, and that's what I did. And I'm actually a man of few words on the show as opposed to real life, and that's what I did. I did the words.
So why don't you like the ad-lib? What's wrong with the ad-lib?
The ad-lib at the end? Yeah, because smarter minds and more creative minds are writing it, and they're smarter minds than me. I trust them, and they know what they want. And I might make a suggestion for a rewrite or something that might come out of my mouth a little easier than what they've written. But quite often they know Father knows best, and Father did know best in this case.
Is Father Hank, or is it our showrunner, Joe?
Our showrunner, Joe.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be.
You've known Hank
Of
a long
course.
time. He could be like a father figure to you.
Oh, I'm much more a father figure than him.
Oh, good. Does he know that?
Yes, but he makes fun of me. But I'm older.
We got to give it right back to him.
I'm older. Oh, I can, but
Oh, they
but
do. It's
yes.
very cool to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. I mean, he'll make fun of me, but he's hilarious because he does impressions very well, and he can
Great,
do
I
me.
bet.
And the minute that he
Uncanny.
the minute he wants to, like stop an argument or something, and I can't.
He does the
I can't
posture
stop.
and everything too. He'll just be walking around set doing it.
Yeah. So,
Had you guys worked on other stuff before?
me and Hank.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we ever worked together. We were on the same TV show, although I don't think I was ever on when he was on, but he was on Mad About You, as I was. But I was never on when he was on. Those were during the Hank and Helen years. No, I don't think so. Look, I say this, and I'll say it jokingly, but it's true. I auditioned for this thing, and he knows me.
Wow.
Yes, and I have a resume that could support that I could have done this.
He still made you audition.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
He's a purist, right? He likes the process. Isn't that what it is?
No.
What?
He's giving him a hard time. That's what it is.
No, he wants to see
Really?
whether or not I could do it. And I'll be honest. The reason why I'm joking about it is because I can. But I think everybody, from the highest, from Dustin Hoffman on down, should audition. Because what if they come to set with a different take on what you've written or what the director thinks? I know that Cher auditioned for Moonstruck. She should have. Even if a role, there's a gentleman named Tom McCarthy who wrote and directed Spotlight and Station Agent and a lot of movies, and he's great. He's great. I love him. I love his directing. He and I were doing plays across the street from each other back when he wrote Station Agent, and he wanted me to do a role in it, and I said, of course I'll do anything for you, but let's have coffee first and talk about it. And we went and had coffee, and I said, let's read the scene. When we did the scene, and he said, great, that's fantastic. I said, all right, I'll do your movie. I don't want to show up that day and have him say, no, I don't want you doing it like that. That would be horrific for me. So I walk onto a set having auditioned for it. They're patting me on the head and saying, "You're a good actor. We know you can do it. Please come to the set and do it." And I'm secure. I can walk onto the set with confidence. I can tell you that Inside Out, I played the character Bing Bong, and that was written with me in mind, and I didn't have to audition for it. Well, I was terrified at the first take, because what if I do it and they go, "Okay, that's great, Richard. What we want to do here," and I would have. What if I couldn't deliver?
Sure. Yeah.
From the first take on, they were cracking up. They were laughing. They couldn't believe what was coming out of my mouth. So I was lucky. But there isn't a session. We did about eight to 10 sessions. With every session, I thought I was going to get fired.
Wow.
I swear to God I did. And it's very easy to fire somebody on animated film. You know, you do 3 episodes of Brockmire, it's hard to get fired because you've established your character. You know, hell, a week before the movie comes out, you can replace an animated character. All you got to do is just record the voice. Takes an hour.
Yeah, and the preparation is such a big part of it. So even like for your role with Gabby, how did you go about preparing? Because here's this person that's going to the booth, former softball player. How do you get into that whole role?
Well, I had to learn baseball, so I listened to a lot of baseball.
Podcasts, like what were you listening to?
Yeah, I listened to I got the MLB app, you know.
So you went all the way in for this.
Right?
Yeah, listened to games, the whole thing.
My friend Rhea Butcher is an amazing stand-up comedian who does a podcast about baseball called 3 Swings, and I listened to that because it was like a different type of person's perspective.
Right. Do you listen to it anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because they're my friends, so.
Oh, because you're your friends, not because of baseball.
But I don't know if I developed a lasting love of baseball from it, but
I understand that.
I enjoyed hearing it just from Rhea's perspective. It's just like a different vibe to hear it from a comedian, to hear it from like not a sportscaster type person. So yeah, I had to get into baseball more, and I just want to provide a counterpoint to everything Richard said. I just want to say that I do enjoy being offered roles, and I am available for film. Just offer it straight to me.
And if you screw up,
and you are willing to audition.
Yeah.
So how are we feeling about baseball these days? You have interesting perspective. Baseball's obviously been America's pastime for such a long time, but what do you guys both think about baseball's vitality and the future of the sport just in general?
You should answer this because you like it. I don't enjoy the sport at all.
It's a gorgeous sport. There's a lot of symmetry to it and geometry, and it's just very pleasing to the eye. It is unfortunately, we have been trained in entertainment now that we do not make long arcs in our entertainment. Rather, we cut.
Right.
Like this camera's on the 2 of us, and it's not going to change at all.
Right.
And there's no cutting away.
Yep.
You're losing viewers left and right.
You gotta keep it going. Gotta keep it going. Or baseball.
I know. I don't know how often you're going to cut to you, but you know, it's just us, and that is not very pleasing to the mind nowadays.
But this is representative of the conversation going on. Is that the younger generation is saying, "I'm over it. I don't really like it. I don't get it," whereas you're saying, "No, this is a beautiful sport."
Well, I would like to say, though, that I agree with what he's saying in the things that I'm interested in.
Okay.
I just don't care for baseball, just 'cause I never got into it, and I never got into sports. I'm just not a sports person. But I enjoy longer format things. I think that's why TV is so amazing right now. I find when I watch a movie that 2 hours for a film doesn't give me enough time to get to know those characters.
Well, that's true, but every hour works unto itself in telling a larger story.
Yes, but the way that we tend to binge it, I think it's a weird duality in that yes, we want quick cuts, but we want a long
but in that hour, you're getting quick cuts. It's pleasing to the modern eye.
But don't you think it's strange that we're willing to sit for longer, even though we're getting more?
No, I don't think it's weird. I try and let my kids watch older movies where the camera will languish on 2 characters just talking. I watched Mr. Smith Goes to Washington the other day. There is a scene of Thomas Mitchell and Gene Arthur just sitting at a bar getting drunk at a table, and that camera doesn't move, and they get progressively drunk, and you see the arc of what's going on where she finally thinks, I'm going to marry him, and I'm in love with him, whereas this guy is, is saying I'll marry you. It's a lovely, very static. My kids were bored. Why don't they, cut to the face, let's move it. That's what we're used to. It just is. Star Wars, boom, boom, boom. My God, this thing's going all over here. That's what we're used to. And This is not that.
Yeah. No,
It's not
it's a really interesting time because we're binging things. It feels like longer, but at the same time, we want those quick cuts within that hour.
But things are moving quickly
And things
during
are
that
absolutely
hour.
moving.
They're
Yeah.
moving quickly, and they leave with a cliffhanger that
Yeah.
brings us back.
But yeah, people want more time with these people. which
Yes,
is
and it
interesting.
can. Like, for instance, Catch-22 is coming onto TV, which deserves the 6 to 8 hours that it's been given rather than the 2 hours that Mike Nichols gave it, because it's such a dense and big book. Let's devote time to exploring Catch-22.
And that's the beauty of the industry now. What once would have been 2.5 hour film gets the treatment of 6 to 8 hours.
It's
And
great.
you need to unpack it.
It's
Even Brockmire,
fantastic.
like if Brockmire was a movie, right? Like it'd be a fun hour and a half, right? You get to go and explore for multiple seasons, all these different little storylines. You guys get to come in season 3. Like that's a cool thing. You have this great fervent fan base. And it may not be in the millions, but people are passionate about it and people want more.
Yes, people who like it are passionate about it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes, and it's worth becoming passionate about it. It's got
No doubt.
a tone and a voice that is not normally seen on TV.
It's a lot of fun.
It's more
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
seen on National Lampoon rather than TV. It's dark, it's dirty, it's quite often ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all those things make it redeeming.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's
Well, guys, thank you so much,
Thank
Tawny.
you.
It's
So
been a
nice to
pleasure.
meet
Richard,
you.
thanks so much.
My
You
pleasure.
can catch
Thank you.
Brockmire on IFC. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.